Hello and welcome to the 2024 Christmas in July online extravaganza with Venetia Ramsey from Scrapworx. We carry on using the Glitz and Glamour for project number 2. Okay, you're going to need the pattern paper that is from your essentials pack, which is called Meaningful Experiences. You will measure 2 centimeters all the way around the edge of the paper and remove the center. So that is what you're left with, that frame. So you're just going to gut that. Okay, and then the piece that you remove, you can then just turn over because we're going to use that, and use an edge distresser just to distress the edges of the paper. Okay, you will then need a piece of plain cardstock, a dark piece. I'm working with black. So this piece that you're going to cut then measures 27.5 by 27.5. We're going to pop that in over there. All right, and then you're going to need a piece of cream cardstock, which measures 27 by 27. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing, just gut the inside. This piece that you cut out of the inside, you'll use that for your photo mats later on. Okay. So this, I've given it a 1.5 centimeter border all the way around, so that it fits. It's going to fit in like that, right? And then this piece is just going to sit on top of it like that, right? So we're just going to layer it up so that you create a base page that looks something like that. From the full pack, you're going to find the piece of paper that is called a birthday party. I cut it in half, so just cut your paper in half. The piece that you need for here is 10.5 centimeters by 30.5, and it's going to go across like that. I'm still deciding if I want to have it all the way across or if I just want to have it like that. So for now, I think it's better to just have it bigger, and we can always trim it down at a later stage. So I'm still umming and ahhing about that. But I'm thinking that I will most likely trim it down to fit across like that. But we can play around and see. Right, so that's going to go in over there more or less like that. So the next thing you'll need are your photo mats. You need 3 photos that measure 6 by 8. You're going to double mat them. So you'll cut 3 light mats to measure 6.5 by 8.5, and 3 of the dark mats, and I've used the black, to measure 7 by 9. My plan is then to put them over here like that. So again, still thinking that perhaps we need to trim this to fit, because that might look a little bit better. We'll see. I kind of like that we don't break the frame. All right, but we'll play around and see where that takes us. Okay, and then you need to dig in your embellishments and pull out a few goodies. The piece, so we've cut this to 10.5, so you'll have a little section of this left, and what I did is, of the leftovers, I cut out a whole lot of these little hearts. I just fussy cut the hearts, and I'll show you now. And then I cut a piece of it to I just cut a 2 centimeter strip. I first cut the 2 centimeter strip, and then what was left I cut out the hearts, and you'll see why now. Right, so I wanted to create a little banner with the 2 centimeter strip that I cut out. I'll show you how to do that. Then you can see those are the little leftover hearts that I cut out. Then from this pattern paper, where you've got all the labels and everything on, I took this tag, the birthday bash. What I did is I painted it black, and then I painted over the flickering candle, the distress mica stain flickering candle, but I put on quite a thick layer and left it to dry to get this like goldish, this old gold color. Right, then from the full pack, I cut out a whole lot of, from the embellishment sheet, I just cut out a whole lot of little embellishments. So I've got the 2 champagne bottles, I've got a flower, 2 masks, and then different size gifts, And I then also from this pattern paper I cut out the sentiments, and then from the leftover card paper from the last layout I made some tags. So this one measures 9 by 4, and then I just cut the corners, so you need one of those. So out of the stripy one, that's the Acts of Kindness number 2. This one is 9.5 by 2. Again, just cut the corners to make a tag. And then this one is also from that. I'm just going to use the brown side. And this one measures 6 by 4, and then just cut off the top. So I just basically went and made my own tags. All right, to make the banners, let's do that before we carry on. You need to cut, like I said, a 2 centimeter strip. And then all I did was take my pencil and make 2 centimeter intervals like that. And then at the bottom, your first little interval needs to be halfway between that, so that's a 1 centimeter. And then thereafter, we'll go back to making 2 centimeter intervals, just make the little marks, right? And then all you need to do is take your ruler, line it up with that diagonal, and then turn it and go this way. All right. So that you can, and then once we cut these out, we'll have those little triangular banners, bits and pieces that we can use then to make a banner. Okay, then you just need to take your scissors. You can use your scissors or a craft knife and ruler. And basically that's all you need to do. You just need to cut those out. So I cut everything in one direction so I don't have to keep turning. And then we can just cut out the rest. And there you go, then you have your little triangles to create your banner. Right, so I think I cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 little triangles. Okay, let's bring this back in. So my plan is to make like a banner going across the top here, as if, you know, if you were, if you had a banner hung up in your as decor. I just wanted to replicate that. So I have those going across there, 3 at an angle, and then again I think I'm going to put 4 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and then another 3. So you want to try and make it loop like that. And I chose to use the same pattern as this one, that same side. And then we've got this. And I'll space them out and to, you know, so that it's more even and that it looks more like a scallop than it. I might have to do them a little bit more, like maybe space that one a little bit better, but when I start to stick them and they stay in place, it's easier then to space them, put them where they need to be. Right, so I've cut everything and I've inked around the edges with Scorched Timber Distress Oxide. Okay, so those are going to go there more or less. This is going to run across like that. Then the tags that I made, we're going to pop them in over here. Just use them to bring the page up a little bit So they're going to go in something like that. And this one over here. So just layer them like that. Yeah. And I know that I want to put my title over here. I thought it would look good over here. Right. So then I thought to start with the embellishing down the bottom here with this tag. Pop the tag in over here. I can put it in a way that it kind of tucks under the one photo and out the other, right? And we can put one of the masks over here like that. The champagne bottle with the glasses, I think would look good over there. Might be able to take everything up just a little bit more so we can bring this down like that. Yeah. All right. And then we can add the presents. Maybe fit that present on top of the birthday bash, something like that. Maybe we put this one over here and these lily ones over here, something like that. You just build up a little cluster with the presents and then pop this one over here like that, and then just repeat this, the champagne glass or the champagne bottle. Maybe go up a little bit, but it's almost forms part of that, and then we can pop that in there, and then we can bring in some of the flowers. I think it'll look good, this part tucked underneath here. We can do something like that. Just build it up like that. And then we can add the sentiments. So we can put this one in here that says time to party. We can use this one over here. We can obviously trim it a little bit. I think that's what we would do. Life is what you celebrate. Pop that over there. And then we can put the fun starts here, underneath here like that. Right, and then those little hearts that we cut out, we can just build up a little cluster of hearts over here. And then repeat that little cluster at the top here. Maybe pop two in over here. And then that is what will allow me to get my visual triangle. So I'm going to swap these ones, pop it in there and pop it over there like that. That one can go under, something like that. Right, so you kind of get the idea of where this is going. It's a quick, easy page, but I think very effective. Okay, I'm quickly going to put glue on everything, and then I'll be back to assemble the background with you and then stick everything in place. I do think I'm going to trim this one to fit the base page. I think it's going to look better than having it run all the way across. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. I have put glue on everything, so we are going to start to assemble the background. My suggestion is that we actually start by attaching the light to the dark, in this case the cream cardstock to the black. All right, this one's going to be, I'm going to use glue because it allows me, it gives me the opportunity to shift things around if I don't get it on perfectly straight, and I can just move it around a bit till I get it where I need it to be. Okay, so you want to center this so that you have the same amount of space on the top and on the sides. So you're going to pop it down, shift it into place. So if I get it kind of spaced top and the left, right and top, then I can turn it, do the same here, turn it, do the same here, and there we go. So that looks like I got it in. It's easier to hold it up in front of you than to try work over, you know, to hold it flat and try see. If you hold it up in front of you, you can actually, you have a better view of what's going on. So that looks like I got it on reasonably straight. Okay, just want to burnish that in place like that. Right, so now this one needs to go on the very background one, so we want to get that on there. Right, so I like to put a little bit of glue around the very edge of the frame. Remember, if you have your way of doing it, that's fine. There's I always say there's no right and wrong way. It's the way that is comfortable for you to work. I like to put a little bit of glue right on the edge, and then right on the edge of the dark cardstock. You don't want to go too far in because there's the gap, and obviously you don't want to get glue on the middle here. So if we've got it on the inside of the bottom one and the outside of the top one, we should get a reasonably good stick. Okay, if you're more comfortable working with tape, then work with the tape. Right, so I'm just going to try and eyeball it, oops, before that happens, to get it kind of centered. Right, so again I'm just gonna lift it up and try and move it so that I have it centered top and bottom. Bring that down a little bit. Any glue that gets messed will dry clear, and if I can still see it, I can then just take it off with a glue eraser. Right, so there we go. Just going to burnish that in place. See, I already messed some glue where I shouldn't. Oops. Just going to lift that up. Right, so that looks like it's kind of centered, maybe a little bit off, but once we've got all the embellishments on, we will barely see it. Just want to make sure that I've got all the air bubbles out. Give it a good burnish. Okay, so here where there is glue, I will just remove it. I have an eraser that I'll use later. I just want to get rid of any bubbles there. Right, so there we go. So that is our background created, and then we need to add this one now to hide all the joins. And basically I'm going to do the same thing, put glue around the edge and then just center that. So I just want a little of the cream border sticking out all the way around. Like that. There we go. And just burnish all of that, make sure we get a good even stick with no air bubbles. Right, and I did cut this one down to fit across like that. Right, so I think that I'm going to attach that one about 11 centimeters from the bottom of the page. I think that's a good distance. So if you're unsure about your spacing, because I didn't measure before I took everything off, all we need to do is bring back that title. Yeah, that's going to work. That gives me, so if I have my title here, that gives me enough space to put some goodies. So 11 centimeters looks like the right distance. Okay, let's stick that in place. If you like it with the whole thing running right across, then you can leave your pattern paper to run across like that. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then the last thing that needs to go in are the photographs, which we're going to pop in over there like that. Bear in mind that I want the tag to go behind one of the photographs. So when I add my glue, I'm not going to put any glue down the bottom here, because I know that I want to have something go underneath. So with this, we're just going to center the photographs in that little pattern that we stuck down. I think like that is good. And then the other two are just going to stay in line with that first one that we've put down. Now I've gone and stuck this down without making an allowance for my tags. I'll show you how I fix that. I would normally put some double-sided tape along the top and not put my glue all the way to the top to give me an opportunity to be able to tuck things in. The glue hasn't dried 100%, so I can run my finger underneath there just to lift it a little bit, like that. And then I will most likely have to trim my the tags that I made to go underneath. So we're going to attach those first before I end up with too much of the glue drying. So this one's going to go in over here. You can see I've now made it a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim that. Just trim it a little bit because I don't have as much space to slide it under. And this one goes in here, more or less, like that. Yeah, that'll work. And then this one I can pop in over here. I think I wanted to go behind this one a little bit, like that. And then we've got this one that's got to go in, and this one's also going to go in behind like that. Okay, so the only one that needed to be trimmed now was this one. I'll slide that over just a little bit. You can bring it up just a little bit like that. All right, I might move this one over slightly. Yep, that looks good there. And then bring this one, we want it to go behind this one over here. over there like that. Right, so there I was able to save my I was able to save the sticking it down without having to lift this pattern paper. So just remember, you need to put some double-sided tape or make an allowance like I did here for your goodies to slide under. Right, so I'm going to put on some music and speed the video up a little bit while I assemble the rest of the goodies. Okay, I will see you in a bit. And there you go, that's everything stuck in place. The only thing I didn't record is that I drew lines around the tags, and I used a white gel pen around that tag and then around the sentiments, then a black gel pen around the rest of everything else that's on the layout. I even put lines around the little banners just to make them stand out a little bit more. Right, you can, if you want to, add a few extra hearts. You could add some stars. You could pick up with quite the stars at the background. You could bring them onto the front. But I think that there's a good balance of embellishments for the photographs that we are going to put on. So we'll have a photograph over here. Remember, 6x9, 6x8, 6x8, 6x8. We'll be putting those photographs in over there. Right, I hope that you've enjoyed this process, and I look forward to seeing you in project number 3. Thank you for watching.